Ladies and gentlemen, good evening. It's good to see you. The North versus South debate has now taken a filmy turn. And ironically enough, it involves an actor who's half Tamil and half Punjabi. Kerala has its Veshti in a twist, ladies and gentlemen, over a Bollywood film called Param Sundari. The main protagonist, Sundari, played by Janhvi Kapoor, is a bindi and half-skirt wearing Malayali who breaks out into a Mohiniyattam jig every now and then. To make matters worse, she speaks Hindi in an accent so thick that Malayalis are saying, "What's with the accent?" All of this is based on the trailer that has now been released. Take a look at one of the parts that seems to have irritated most Malayalis. Now, ladies and gentlemen, I'm not a South Indian, and like many of our viewers, I find it difficult to distinguish between a Malayali accent and a Tamilian accent. Also, as a film watcher, I'm thinking to myself, what's the problem? The accent may be right or wrong. What difference does it make as long as the film is not a bore? But that is not the view in Kerala. Many voices have come out and criticized what they say is a caricature of a rich and layered culture. They say this is Bollywood stereotyping at its silliest, that thinks of everyone below the Vindhyas as Madrasis.
Savitra Menon, I'm a Malayali, and I watched the trailer of Param Sundari. I want to really address this. What's the problem in hiring a proper Malayali actor? हम कम talented होते हैं क्या? वो मोहिनीअट्टम ही कर रही होती है. ऐसा नहीं होता केरला में भाई. जैसे कि मैं बात कर रही हूँ हिंदी में. I can also speak Malayalam really well. അല്ല ശരിക്കും പറഞ്ഞാൽ നിങ്ങളുടെ പ്രശ്നം എന്താണ്? നല്ലപോലെ മലയാളം സംസാരിക്കാൻ പറ്റുന്ന ഒരു പെൺകുട്ടി നിങ്ങൾക്ക് എന്താ കിട്ടാൻ എത്ര ബുദ്ധിമുട്ടുണ്ടോ? हमने भी बड़े ऐसी चीजें किए हैं 90s मलयालम फिल्मों में when we had to show Punjabis. Now it's 2025. I think everybody knows how a Malayali talks and how they are as normal as anybody else. We don't wear just jasmine flowers and do Mohiniyattam everywhere and walk around the office and house. Please. रिक्वेस्ट है यार. तिरुवनंतपुरम अगर आप बोल नहीं सकते ना तो त्रिवेंद्रम बोल दो, हम खुश हो जाएंगे. मेरा नाम है कुप्पचामी मोह सुंदरम रामेश्वरम.
Okay, so the film Param Sundari may or may not reduce Kerala to a cliche. But Bollywood, ladies and gentlemen, is definitely a repeat offender when it comes to stereotyping. And it is not just South Indians who are stereotyped. The Goans, they are stereotyped as lazy party lovers. You remember the films from the 70s and the 80s? That still continues. The Christians are still stereotyped as fast. Gays are stereotyped as resident clowns and weirdos. Cultures and subcultures are reduced to cardboard caricatures devoid of any social nuance. The charge Janhvi Kapoor is facing today, ladies and gentlemen, is a charge that actresses before her have faced as well. Deepika Padukone as Meenamma in Chennai Express, super hit film, or Sanya Malhotra as a Tamilian called Sundari. Again, the film did well. Or Rashmika Mandana as a Marathi queen in Chhawa, super hit. Or even Priyanka Chopra as Mary Com in Mary Com. Again, the film was a sleeper hit. All films did well at the box office. So yes, sure, Bollywood does stereotype the South, but then the Southern industry also stereotypes North Indians as well. Does that warrant demands then that a Malayali character should be played only by a Malayali? Or Mary Com can only be depicted by an actor who comes from the Northeast? After all, ladies and gentlemen, a film's director or producer has the freedom to cast whoever they want to and make the film they want to, good or bad. Is Kerala then taking Param Sundari's flaws way too seriously? A quick chat with my guest this evening. Pratibha Prahlad is a renowned artist. All of you know her. Thank you very much, Pratibha ji, for joining us. Rahul Easwar, our friend in need, joining us on the broadcast as well. Hi, Rahul. Good evening. Always good to have you on the show. Shoaib Choudhary is a TV and film producer joining us on the broadcast. Thank you very much. And Aanchal Munjal is an actress who will be with us in just a bit. Rahul, can I ask you, since I think you're the only Mallu on this panel, can I ask you, what's the problem here? It is just a film.
2-3 points. First of all, some of us definitely say it is not Mallu, it is Malayali.
Sorry. I'll be accused of stereotyping then. There'll be articles written against me. I apologize to all our Malayali friends.
See, the issue is the lack of nuance, as you rightly told in the beginning. The problem is, see, there should be more wider representation of India in our Bollywood movies. Whatever said and done, Bollywood movies are the hallmark of Indian movies, and we respect. We all see those movies. We are huge fans of Bollywood movies, or Shah Rukh Khan used to say, don't call it Bollywood, call it the Indian movie industry or Indian movie industry. But at the same point of time, many a times it makes it as a mere caricature. Many a times it is stereotyping, lacks nuance, becomes a cliche, becomes some kind of a caricature, and that doesn't feel good. See, it is a lot of nuance, and especially in North India, it's all clubbed as one Madrasi. Earlier, the idea was Madrasi. I know Madras is just one place. Madras is in Tamil Nadu, a great Tamil civilization. We have Andhra and Telangana, which is basically Telugu, we have Kannada, Karnataka, we have Kerala. So there is a lot of diversity. It's just something like we are clubbing everything into just like Northeast or South. But this wide variety and nuance is lacking. And please remember Sridevi, the great legendary actress. Sridevi was born as Sridevi Ayyappan down south, basically from the roots of South India and especially Tamil Nadu. So I think there should be a more nuance, less of caricaturing, less of more clichéing, and more genuine depiction would be much more nice with all the cultural variety rather than merely showcasing. And here, especially the accent sounds so fake, with due respect. Param Sundari might be a very good movie. We all love the trailer. At the same point of time, people like Pavitra rightly pointed this out, because we need to have a much more realistic portrayal of every Indian culture within its pristine purity, rather than merely, I'm not saying they're mocking, but it is more of a cliche, caricature, stereotyping that is really.
But Pratibha ji, if honest depiction, it has never been the hallmark of Bollywood, I beg your pardon, to begin with. My point is, if they wanted such an honest degree of depiction is required, then they would make documentaries. This, after all, is a film. Which is why I don't understand the fuss. I understand that, you're reducing Kerala to a cliche. I understand that in Bollywood, all South Indians are Madrasis who drink filter coffee, eat idli sambar, wear bindi and flowers in their hair. But is it, I don't see anything negative in it. This is not negative portrayal or representation. It could be silly, but definitely not negative.
So my, understanding of this, I remember way back in the 80s, I used to come from Bangalore to Delhi to perform. And when I used to, the moment people saw me doing Bharatanatyam, they would say, oh, you're a Madrasi. And I would say, no, I'm not a Madrasi. I'm a Kannadiga. I'm from, Bangalore. And so they would say, what's the difference? Sab kuch ek hi hai, or something like that. So I said, so you're reducing everybody south of India into one monolithic culture. And you're not giving authenticity to their linguistic differences, their culinary differences, their, regional differences, their cultural differences, and, so many other differences that there are there between Andhra Pradesh and Tamil Nadu and Karnataka and Kerala. We're all different people, just like Biharis and Bengalis and Orissa. In Delhi itself, there are so many ethnic groups. So what I, want to see in a cinema is authenticity. And that authenticity and that nuance is missing. You have heavily accented people in lungis, and like you said, South Indian women with big bindis. I'm also wearing a big bindi today. I'm South Indian, giving myself away. And speaking it a kind of a, different kind of a way, mannerism, and their, everything. So what I'm trying to say is, why reduce all characters into a caricature? I agree with Rahul, whatever he said, because what he says is, you want to see more nuance, you want to see authenticity, you want to see characters. North Indians can play South Indians, South Indians can play North Indians. They can have some, coaches who can train them in how to speak, what to say, how to do. So, but why reduce everything into one stereotypical, monolithic kind of a, mass, like a culture? If it has to be Kerala, it has to be Mohiniyattam. If it has to be Andhra, it has to be, Kuchipudi. If it is, Tamil Nadu, it is Bharatanatyam. And Karnataka, it is, some sort of Yakshagana or something like that. Why? Because all of us, study everything. We understand everything. We've been doing this. And most of us in South understand many languages. We speak many languages. We speak it well. So I would want Bollywood to be a little more sensitive, not just Bollywood, any cinema maker, any filmmaker, and North India to be a little more sensitive, understanding that, yeah, there are, regional differences, the people are different, and to try and depict, kind of voices from the South that are authentic. Yeah.
Okay. But do voices from the South that are authentic mean that if Janhvi Kapoor is playing a Malayali, she shouldn't be playing a Malayali because she's half Tamil and half Punjabi. A Malayali girl should be playing Malayali because that's the same argument that was made.
No, she can play anything.
Yeah, no, but that is an argument.
I didn't say.
Yeah, I know you didn't say it, but I'm saying.
I didn't say that. I said anybody, yeah.
Yeah, but that is an argument that has been made.
I said
in fact, for example,
anybody,
when Priyanka Chopra was playing Mary Kom, the argument was made, she doesn't even look like a Northeasterner. So an actress from the Northeast should have played it. Similarly, when Deepika Padukone played Meenappa,
but I think she did a fabulous
very
job.
Good job, yes. When, someone like a Deepika Padukone played Meenamma in Chennai Express, I thought she did a good job, but most people said, what is this accent? We don't understand what this accent is. Similar criticism came in. But Shoaib Choudhary, is there a certain degree of hypocrisy involved here?
No, correct. Because she was...
Can I just get in Shoaib Choudhary here? Shoaib Choudhary, is there then also a certain degree of hypocrisy concerned here? Because, the counter argument is, do Southern films not stereotype North Indians? They definitely do.
Yeah, there's a lot of stereotyping that happens with characters because the writers and the director, they pick small little nuances of the characters, and that's how we build our characters around it. See, decades before any one of us on the panel was born, we had big-time actors from South ruling the Hindi film industry, starting from Vaijayanti Mala to Rekha Ji and a lot more, Hema Malini and everyone. So there should be no debate about the South Indians being avoided in Hindi film industry. These guys are more than welcome to come here and prove their mettle. We do not have a problem with this, but people need to understand there's a difference between documentary and fiction made for entertainment. This is purely a fiction film made for entertainment purposes. Yes, the characters need to be a little over the top for just to incite the audience into the theaters. You need to understand the economics behind it. So the stereotyping always happens. Just how many times have you seen a Gujarati always eating
dokla,
thepla and papla, or a Punjabi drinking all the time? That's how we show in the films. Or a Pandit with a huge belly hogging onto food all the time and looking for arms. Or a Muslim character draped in a lungi and a jalidar topi and a vest. So these are things which are made for entertainment purposes. Yes, if anything is
offensive,
has a propaganda, then I still understand that you need to raise a voice against it.
If anything is offensive, I understand. But just come in here, Rahul Easwar. The fact is, as was pointed out by Shoaib, before I was at least born, or no, actually, I've interacted with Hema Malini ji. The fact is, she's been the reigning queen of Bollywood for a very long time. She came from the South. Her accent was so thick that, she could not have passed off for a North Indian at all. And yet, cinema goers across North India accepted her as one of their own. So if you have a North Indian actor who is getting the accent wrong, shouldn't the South Indians be a little more forgiving? Because we've been pretty forgiving as well.
See, at the end of the day, whether we belong to any part of India, whether it is north, south, east or west, we are Indians first. That's the reason why some of us always say, I'm not a South Indian, but I'm Indian from South. So yes, there is India's greatness is we are that Indian in one hand and we are having that nuance of various cultures in the other hand. So yes, that's there. And I would humbly remind all our viewers, because of the the national integration aspect of our movie, one of the biggest movies, if you take in Bollywood or Hindi movie industry, industry is a dubbed Telugu movie Bahubali. One of the other biggest movie is a dubbed Kannada movie KGF, a dubbed Tamil movie RRR. So these things, and Jawan kind of movies did hugely well in places like South India and Kerala, and even many things. So there is a integration aspect of it. It would be better. It would be done a bit more tastefully. See, more often than not, it is done in a way to create a sense of laughter, create a sense of caricature. See, that's okay in 1 second. It's in one sense, it's not about forgiving, but it could have been done more artistically. And one more thing, to be blunt and honest, we have always heard stories of some of our greatest stars facing some kind of not so welcoming attitude. Say, may it be Kamala Hassan, one of the greatest stars, Yeshudas from Kerala, one of the greatest voices, people like SPB. Even though they had great opportunities in the beginning, they either were, many people say, sidelined, not very welcome at later point of time. I don't know, and I hope it not to be true. So I think we should use our movies for much more of integration of India in an emotional sense.
Okay. Achal Munjal, would you want to come into the discussion as well? Because this is not something that anyone on the panel has said, but this is this is part of the discourse in Kerala right now, that why couldn't you simply have picked a Malayali girl to play a Malayali girl? Why pick a girl who's half Tamilian, half Punjabi, isn't getting the accent right? To play her, criticism will come because she's got the accent wrong, she's got the nuances wrong. Just by the way, the filmmakers are on record to say that she did have a dialect coach. So it's not like she went in without preparation.
To be honest, as an actor myself, we do put a lot of prep work. We want to give it our best because we thrive on the audience's love. And if I speak about Janvi as the actor, we do know that she's delivered phenomenal performances like in Millie or, Mr. and Mrs. Mahi. So we know that she is a good actor. But I think it's also about the captain of the ship, about how you perceive the character. Say if she's going wrong on set, I think it was also the role and job of others to correct her that, okay, no, this is not coming out right. As an actor, I'm sure she's given her best and 100%. If I speak about casting someone just who's a Malayali, then as you rightly said, this is a Bollywood film you're making, not a documentary or a regional film only, right? As if we go by just by the religion, then in Son of Sardar, Ajay Devgan should not have been casted. We should have taken actually a Sardar to play the role. Or over the decades, whenever we've had a Punjabi play a South Indian role or vice versa, it has been accepted. And your example is, I think, right to the T. Hema Malini ma'am has been accepted by everyone all over the globe. So I think, yes, maybe the accent is slightly wrong. I am not a Malayali, so I'm nobody to say. But from sitting over here, I can say that she's given her best. And yes, we should cut her some slack.
Okay, Pratibha ji, so essentially what the Punjabis would say, what the Punjabis would say is, ki fark penda. After all, this is just a film. And Pratibha ji, when I used to watch TV, my favorite was watching South Indian dubbed films, where just, by the way, all the villains, it may be by chance, but all the villains used to be Bihari. They used to be South Indian actors, but actually Biharis. So that is stereotyping as well. I guess it's what you do to entertain. And there is no malicious intent, so one should let it go. One should not take it that seriously. No, has Kerala taken Param Sundari way too seriously?
Maybe.
Well, I don't see films, so very often, so I don't have so many reference points. So my point is, yes, I do know by Jayanti Mala, of course, and Hema Malini and Sri Devi and Jayaprada and all of them who are famous Bollywood actors and who did a fabulous job and were accepted all over India. So, and I don't believe that only a Malayali girl should do a Malayali role or a Kannada girl should do a Kannada role. No, I don't believe that at all. All that I'm saying is that it should not be over the top. So, earlier what used to happen, a movie just comes to my mind. Kamala Hassan and Rati Agnihotri's famous film.
I know the film you're talking about.
But she was a North Indian and he was a South Indian.
Ek duje ke liye. Yeah.
Ek duje ke liye. Correct. In that film, the person who was the over-the-top characters were the parents. You know, the mother, the mother of the mother of the heroine and the parents of the the hero. But not the hero and the heroine so much. They were more kind of manageable. And all of us, I mean, we remember we were so taken in with that film that we would seen it more than once. Most of us have seen it more than once. So what I'm trying to say is that perhaps Kerala has reacted a bit too sharply, which it should not have happened. And I haven't seen this film, Param Sundari, so I don't know anything about it. But I do wish that our films were more nuanced, they were more authentic, and that they were not reduced to being cultural tropes, I mean, what is...
But Pratibha ji, I mean,
so that
I understand what you're saying.
See something real of each other's culture. Yeah.
Correct. But here's what I'm saying. Ultimately, the film's job is not to portray a culture or a people realistically. A film's job is to entertain people, and that will be the real test for Param Sundari. But Rahul Easwar, my last question to you as I wrap this debate is: are we being way too woke? कि सब कुछ ठीक होना चाहिए. Why is she doing Mohiniyattam? Bindi क्यों लगाई है? This is not how Kerala girls are. Yeah, of course we know this is not how most Malayali girls live at home with bindi and a half skirt doing Mohiniyattam every 5 minutes. I understand that. But
yeah, let's
is it being too woke to say ये तो सब गड़बड़ है? Bollywood stereotypes, our culture, rich culture has been reduced to a caricature. This is a parody. This is not representation, etc., etc.
See, I believe our movie makers need to have the stomach to take such criticism, and it's a positive view of it. We are all fans of Hindi movie. Bollywood movies are huge hits in Kerala. So I think it's more about celebrating our diversity in a positive way. And like ma'am earlier said, if the central characters rather than the central characters, the side characters played, it would be nice. Maybe it will depict our Indian cultural diversity in a better, bigger, and a more tasteful way. I wish the movie all the best, but let them also respect the criticism coming from Kerala.
But Shoaib, I'm sure they do. But Shoaib, here's the thing. My last question to you, just answer this in 30 seconds. Will the makers of Param Sundari be cheering right now as they see this debate and the debate play out in Kerala? After all, there is no such thing as bad publicity in the world of films. Achha, the more people talk about it, the more people will go to the theatres.
Of course, they'll be very happy. They'll be very happy and want this to happen. And I expect you to continue this debate for the next couple of days until the film is released and they make big money out of it. Number two is that Janvi Kapoor is a very fine actor, being half Tamilian and Tamil and Malayalam. Malayali being having a very common vocabulary. She really knows what she's doing. So I'm sure that it is not meant to offend anyone, and economics remain a very important part as a producer. I'm speaking right now.
Okay, so essentially here's how we'll end this show. Films should be seen for entertainment, not for any controversy. We'll see if the film does manage to create more controversy once it's released. For the moment, it's certainly set tongues wagging, and Kerala is not exactly happy with what they are seeing, and all they have seen right now is a trailer. We'll leave it for the moment. Pratibha ji, thank you very much. Rahul Easwar, good to have you on the show. Shoaib, thanks very much. Achal, thank you very much. On that note, ladies and gentlemen, a break. There's more on the other side.